Your 20s are the most important years of your life. हमने लोगों को अक्सर ये कहते हुए सुना है, सिर्फ इसलिए नहीं ताकि हम अपना करियर बना सकें, पर इसलिए ताकि हम नए नए एक्सपेरिमेंट्स करके जान सकें कि हमको लाइफ से आखिर चाहिए क्या. मैंने हाल ही में एक पॉडकास्ट पर एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ सुनी है कि इस दुनिया में 2 तरह के लोग होते हैं. एक वो जिन्हें सेफ्टी और स्टेबिलिटी के अलावा ज़िंदगी से और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. एक अच्छा जॉब, टाइम पे आने वाला पे चेक और बस वीकेंड होने का इंतज़ार. इनको कहते हैं द स्टेबिलिटी टाइप. और दूसरे होते हैं वो लोग जिनके लिए अपने ज़िंदगी का मकसद ढूंढना एक मिशन बन जाता है, जो किसी मूवी के मेन कैरेक्टर की तरह अपने आप को और ज़िंदगी को गहराई से जानना चाहते हैं, जो उड़ना चाहते हैं, दौड़ना चाहते हैं, गिरना चाहते हैं, बस रुकना नहीं चाहते, जिन्हें हर पल इस बात का एहसास होता है that life has to mean more than what they're currently experiencing, that it has to mean something beyond the mundane. इनको कहते हैं द मीनिंग टाइप. और अगर दोनों चीज़ एक्सट्रीमिटी में की जाए तो शायद वो हर किसी के लिए लॉन्ग टर्म में सस्टेनेबल ना हो. पर इसका सोल्यूशन है, and that is to find a balance between the two. To find a secure way to live in this society by paying your bills and to have more meaning in your life through spiritual experiences. And one way to do that, in my opinion, is by traveling. I think कहीं ना कहीं हमारी generation ये realize कर रही है that there needs to be a balance between work and life. And I think for the most part, इंडिया में ज़्यादातर लोग आपको लॉन्ग वीकेंड पे या तो पहाड़ों पर या फिर बीचेस पर मिलेंगे. And I think दोनों बीचेस और पहाड़ों की अपनी एक खासियत है. It brings out a different version of you. मेरे लिए समंदर एक ऐसी जगह है जहाँ मुझे शांति और सुकून महसूस होता है. इट्स अ प्लेस आई गो टू व्हेन आई नीड टू लेट गो एंड हील. बट आई गो टू द माउंटेन्स फॉर द एग्जैक्ट ऑपोजिट रीजन. इट्स अ प्लेस आई गो टू व्हेन आई नीड अ गुड चैलेंज एंड टू फील इंस्पायर्ड. एंड बिकॉज आई एम एट अ पॉइंट इन माई लाइफ वेर आई नीड बोथ अ गुड चैलेंज एंड टू फील इंस्पायर्ड, मैंने सोचा व्हाई डोंट आई साइन अप फॉर अ ट्रैक क्लाइंबिंग 15,000 feet above the sea level in the Himalayas. In hindsight, ये सुनने में जितना मज़ेदार लग रहा है उतना ही रिस्की भी था. अब रिस्की पार्ट क्या था वो स्टोरी मैं आपको इस वीडियो के एंड में बताऊंगी. बट बिफोर आई प्रोसीड, आई वॉन्ट यू टू पॉज दिस वीडियो एंड क्विकली सब्सक्राइब टू माई चैनल इफ यू हैवंट डन दैट ऑलरेडी. बिकॉज स्पीकिंग ऑफ चैलेंजेस, मेरे लिए फिलहाल सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज इज टू ग्रो ऑन दिस प्लेटफॉर्म एंड आई कैन ओनली डू दैट इफ आई हैव योर सपोर्ट. सो प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट यू सब्सक्राइब टू माई चैनल एंड लाइक माई वीडियो बिकॉज इट विल हेल्प मी गेट नोटिस्ड ऑन द एल्गोरिथम. ऑलराइट, सो मेरी ट्रिप की शुरुआत हुई दिल्ली से, जहाँ मैं अपने दोस्त अंकुर और उनके कुछ दोस्तों से मिली जिनके साथ मिलकर हम ट्रैक पर जाने वाले थे. इट वॉज लेट इन द आफ्टरनून और दिल्ली की गर्मी और खाली पेट did not go well together. So we stuffed our faces with the famous chole kulche and made our way to the bus stand. हमने रेड बस ऐप से दिल्ली से शिमला तक की ओवरनाइट बस बुक करी. Took us about 9 hours and we reached Shimla at around 5:30 in the morning. Made it to Shimla. It was a 9-hour bus ride from Delhi and now we've got another 9 hours to go. We'll be picked up by a cab from the organization that we're going through. And another 9 more hours to spend until we reach the base camp. Let's see you there. हमने ये पूरी ट्रैक गो आउट विद आउल्स नाम के एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ प्लान करी. एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम द स्टार्ट टू द एंड वाज मैनेज्ड बाय देम. Honestly, they made our entire trip so seamless and I'd highly recommend them if you're planning to go on a trek anytime soon. For the start of this trek, we were headed to our base camp Janglik, which was a 5-hour journey by road. The views on our way were so good that we took a stop for चाय नाश्ता और वहाँ का नज़ारा देख के हमारे दिल और पेट दोनों भर गए.
लड़कियां हैं क्लास में. शर्म बता रही है.
Good morning guys, it's day 1 at the base camp. I'm just having my chai. I woke up at 6:30 a.m. today to the sound of those birds. Can you hear that? So serene out here. But our trek is about to start. Everyone's just getting ready upstairs and having a breakfast. And then the actual trek begins. Really excited for this trek. It's going to be a little difficult, a little exhausting, but a lot of fun because we're just about 11 people in this group. And I feel like the smaller the group, the better the bond you have. I'm looking forward to having a ball of a time with these people and show you what that looks like. But just to catch you up, we arrived here at around 5 p.m. last evening, and it was just a briefing session of what the trek is going to look like, some do's and don'ts, and then we just had our dinner and spent some time looking at the stars. But yeah, it was a chill evening. The actual trek begins today, so I'll catch up with you when the trek begins. If I could just wake up to this every morning, I would. I mean, look at that view. Can you hear the sound of the birds? This is what we're missing out on living in the city. Nature at its peak. Wow, I'm amazed. I wish I could wake up to this every single morning, but someday.
But for now, this is what we're up to. Just having chai.
अब वो सम डे कब आएगा वो तो मुझे नहीं पता, बट लेट मी गिव यू अ क्विक टूर ऑफ दिस होम स्टे अरेंज्ड बाय द टीम. अंदर आते से यू फाइंड दिस कॉरिडोर जहाँ पे हमारा ब्रेकफास्ट स्प्रेड रखा हुआ है, एंड देन दिस इज द रूम वेयर आई स्लेप्ट इन. इस पूरे ग्रुप में हम सिर्फ 2 लड़कियाँ थी, सो वी बेसिकली हैड दिस रूम टू आवरसेल्व्स, एंड दिस वाज व्यू फ्रॉम आवर होम स्टे. एंड नाउ फाइनली इट वाज टाइम टू बिगिन आवर ट्रैक.
हाँ
बुरान घाटी को एक मॉडरेट से डिफिकल्ट ट्रैक माना जाता है, जिसे पूरा करने में करीब 6 से 7 दिन लग जाते हैं. इसे सबसे डाइवर्स ट्रैक माना जाता है क्योंकि ट्रैक के दौरान हर दिन आपको अलग अलग नज़ारे देखने मिलते हैं, और पूरा दिन चढ़ने के बाद जो कैंप साइट पहुँचने की खुशी होती है, दैट इज़ इनकम्पेरेबल.
We are having Maggie,
Susan, me,
Kushi.
Uncle, and you all know her.
मौसम अगर बहुत ही ख़राब हो तो हर ट्रैक में एक बफर डे होना ज़रूरी है ताकि आप अगले दिन आगे बढ़ सको. पहाड़ों में मौसम का साथ देना ऑनेस्टली एक बहुत बड़ी ब्लेसिंग होती है, एंड वी वर ग्रेटफुल कि इस पूरी ट्रैक के दौरान मौसम ने हमारा साथ नहीं छोड़ा. कैंप साइट पहुँचने के बाद हमें डाइनिंग टेंट में बहुत ही बढ़िया खाना परोसा जाता था. हमारे ग्रुप में यूएस से कुछ लोग आए थे और उन्हें 2-3 बार खाने की सर्विंग लेते हुए और उनका रिएक्शन देख के हमें बड़ा मज़ा आता था. बट ऑनेस्टली आई डोंट ब्लेम देम क्योंकि खाना था ही इतना अच्छा.
Hey guys, it's day 2 of the trek. We just got to our campsite a while ago. Just had our lunch and now we're all cozied up into our tents because it's currently raining outside and it's really cold. But so far the trek has been really good. We're just taking our time to take in the incredible views and capture some of the beauty around us, but nothing compares to actually experiencing this in person. To be honest, this trek is definitely challenging than I predicted because I have done another high altitude trek in the Himalayas before, like a few years ago, and I thought I'd be able to pull it off, but boy was I wrong. I thought I was fit enough for this, but there's nothing like climbing mountains that can really humble you. But yeah, so far the trek has been amazing and I can't wait to see what's more in store for me.
खाने और रेस्ट करने के बाद भी स्पेंड आवर इवनिंग्स प्लेइंग सम गेम्स. कभी बाहर खुले मैदान में तो कभी डाइनिंग टेंट के अंदर माफिया खेलकर. Honestly, I love the fact that playing can really bring people together no matter what culture you belong to. And it looks like we weren't the only ones who like to play. तीसरा दिन मेरे लिए थोड़ा मुश्किल रहा क्योंकि जैसे मैंने कहा, मौसम अगर आपका साथ ना दे तो मंजिल तक पहुंचना मुश्किल हो जाता है. आई हैड अ बैड फॉल. लेक से वापस आते वक्त ज़ोरों से बारिश होने लगी. आई वॉज वॉकिंग ऑन अ वेरी नैरो पाथ. देयर वाज अ स्टीप वैली डाउन बिलो और उसके नीचे बहती हुई एक तेज़ नदी that had the power to take anyone down with its strong force. I was feeling slightly dizzy. I slipped, lost the footing on my ground, and I rolled down straight into the valley. I could have been gone, or at the very least, badly injured myself. But thankfully, my survival instinct kicked in. I blocked my arm and saved myself. There was a trekking guide right behind me, so he jumped in and grabbed my leg to save me from rolling down any further. My friends were shocked seeing that. And they didn't leave me alone for the entire trek, which I'm grateful for. But honestly, it didn't affect me as much. I was surprisingly feeling okay at that moment, and I got right back up like nothing had happened because I knew that there was a bigger challenge ahead of me. One of the many highlights of Burang Trek is crossing the pass and rappelling down a steep snow wall. It was a tough climb, and I cannot express how happy everyone was after reaching the summit. People were dancing, screaming in joy. That feeling was something else. There were other groups as well on this trek, and it didn't matter that we were strangers, but everyone was congratulating each other, hugging each other for making it so far, and it was such a good feeling of doing something extraordinary together. It was truly magical. And I couldn't believe that it was all coming to an end. Every travel experience has taught me something meaningful about the world and most importantly, about myself. I live for experiences that allow me to think of things that I've never thought of before. The Himalayas have a way of putting your whole life into perspective, making you realize how precious every single breath is. When I fell down, I became really quiet that day. I went into this whole spiral because I wasn't thinking about how I could have lost my life, but why I wasn't scared that I could have lost my life. Got me thinking about my own deaths and mortality of human lives and how short life is really. And I know it sounds a little dark, but hear me out. How many times have you thought about your own death? Like 0? None? Because same. I hadn't thought about the concept of death until that moment. Yes, it's not a glamorous topic to talk about, but that's the whole point. I'm not trying to sound cynical or pessimistic when I talk about death. It's actually quite the opposite. Death, some people say, is what gives life meaning. It teaches you how to live in the present. Have you heard that song? If it was my last day on earth, I wouldn't be in church. I need to see birds and bees, green trees, yeah, whatever. I'm not a rapper, but you get my point. It's only hitting me now that it was such a beautiful song. Would you really do half the things you keep doing and worrying about now if it was your last day on earth? How would you do things differently? What would you really care about? About people's opinion of you? Or doing things that genuinely make you happy and sharing that happiness with the world? If you think thinking about dying is depressing, then you're missing the whole point, my friend. It's actually a tool to create more urgency and priority in our own lives. When I think about it, the reason why I was so nonchalant about the fact that I could have died was because I wasn't scared of death. Because I feel that every soul has its own journey and it only leaves its earthly body when its purpose is fulfilled and its intended time on earth is over. I still have that fighting spirit in me. I still have a lot of things to do before I die. So no, I'm not afraid of death. But you know what my biggest fear is? Growing old and not being able to move my body the way I want. Feeling helpless because I did not keep myself fit when I had the chance to, and doing all those hospital runs when I'm old because of a bad lifestyle when I was young.
This trek was a huge wake-up call for me to step up my fitness game and to work on my endurance. Because even though I considered myself to be fairly active, if I'm being completely honest to myself, I hadn't been consistent in the past 2 years. You don't get to do 1 or 2 good workout sessions out of 7 days in a week and call yourself active. See, the thing is, you may lie to yourself now, but your body will always tell the truth. And believe me, it will come to bite you in the ass when you're old. If you look at it from an evolutionary perspective, our bodies were always meant to move. In ancient times, the hunter-gatherers had to walk several miles just to feed themselves and their family in order to survive. And now, since our survival is reduced to crunching cash and grabbing people's attention on the screen, we have forgotten our body's most basic needs, which is to move. That's the result of living a sedentary lifestyle, being glued to our screens and not moving our bodies enough. And I believe that's the case with most of us today. We're so busy making our careers and making money that we forget we need to take care of the most important thing in our lives, our own body. Our body's metabolism changes as we grow older. It becomes slower, especially if we don't make movement a priority at a young age.
So if you're watching this video, let this be a reminder that it's not too late.